All right. What is up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here with another GSD Mode Podcast weekly leveling up episode where every single week I come at you with different tips, different strategies, different tactics on how to go out there and level up in your own life, in your own business. So then that way that you can go out there, accomplish your goals, accomplish your dreams, accomplish your visions, and continue to crush it on your own success journey. So today I want to talk to you about how to control our emotional state, how to control your own emotional state. One thing that is so important as we are leveling up in our own lives, our own businesses, and on our own success journeys is to be able to manage emotions, to be able to channel those, to be able to, listen to them at certain times and not listen to them at certain times, because sometimes we can be an emotional mess. You probably have heard different sayings out there, which I truly believe to be true, which are things like 90% of success is mindset, is what's happening up here in our minds, in our brains. I believe that to be true. One thing I've been obsessed with for a long time now is why don't we do the things that we know we should be doing, that we know what to do, we know how to do? Why don't we do the things we know we should be doing in order to accomplish our goals, dreams, and visions when we know that that's what we truly want? And then we do a lot of the opposite at different times and different stages of our life or business and so forth. Like, why does that take place? And if we don't learn how to manage our emotions, if we don't learn how to listen to that internal voice, if you will, that's taking place inside of our head, and we don't learn how to, channel these things correctly, we can cave into them, we can give into them, and that can put us in a negative state. Now, real quick, before we jump into this, just a couple quick things here. Number one, if you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure to smash that subscribe button. Make sure to smash that like button. It helps push this out to more people. Also will ensure that you don't miss out on further videos, further podcasts, and so forth that I'm creating. So if you enjoy this content, again, if you could do me that favor, if you haven't already, make sure that you're subscribed. Make sure to like this, drop me a comment. I personally respond to all of the comments that come in here on the YouTube channel as well. Also, make sure that you check out gsdmode.com. A lot of different free resources on there, different free trainings I have going on, my free book, my free ebook that's on there with 41 top tips of how to go out there and continue to grow your real estate business, 100% free, opt in, it gets sent to your email right away. Different ways you can connect with me here on the podcast. Also on gsdmode.com, if you have interest in my coaching program and being mentored by me personally, you can go check out more information on that. You can book a free strategy discovery call, which there's zero pressure with that, but I can let you know what the program's all about, if it's a fit for you. And I always make sure that those calls, I turn those into mini coaching calls to make sure that they're powerful for you. So even if in the event that you decide that the program isn't for you, I want to make sure that that isn't wasted time for you, and we can still help get you dialed in your business. You can learn more about Perfect Storm, which is the website CRM system that I utilize to go out there and create one of the top teams in the country. You can watch a full demo on there. So make sure to check out gsdmode.com. All right, let's jump back into the content at hand. So we've got to first understand that success is only reserved for those that are truly committed. Success is not reserved for the interested, but those that are truly committed. What is the difference between being committed and being interested? Those that are interested only do the certain actions that they need to be doing to make their goals a reality. They only do those when it's convenient, when it serves them, when they have a certain amount of motivation or whatever it may be. They do it when, again, it's easy, when it serves them, when it's convenient. Maybe as an example, I know most of you are tied to the real estate industry. Here's a good example of a difference of somebody that's committed and somebody that's interested. Maybe you have a shit day. Maybe you just realize that 2 closings fell out. You lost, maybe 10 or 15 grand or 20 grand that you were planning on coming into your real estate business. And it's a hard hit. Like, I've had many of those days. I get that. I understand that. This business can be an emotional roller coaster. Just life in general can be an emotional roller coaster. And that's why we need to get control of our emotions and not allow those to dictate the actions that we take. But somebody that's interested might be like, oh man, today's just been a shit day, a rough day. I'm going to take the rest of the day off, and then I'll get to my tasks tomorrow, or get to them later. The person that's committed sits there and says, hey, yeah, this is a shit day. This sucks. It's not that when I talk about controlling emotions, it doesn't mean that we're not going to feel them. We're all human beings. We have emotions. We're going to feel those emotions. But then they're like, hey, I got these other 75 tasks that are due in my CRM today. I need to knock those out regardless. And then after I knock those out, then I can go home maybe and chillax and try to recover from this bad day. So commitment is doing the necessary action steps. This is the difference between committed and interested. Committed are doing the necessary steps, the action steps, taking actions on those day in and day out things that we must accomplish in order to make our goals a reality, regardless of our emotional state. And as I mentioned earlier, success is only reserved for those that are committed. It doesn't matter what aspect of life that you're trying to create success in, whether it be business, whether it be health. It's like, okay, each and every day I got to get up and I got to get my workout in, even though a lot of days I don't feel like getting it in. I still got to get up, get it in. I still got to meal prep. I still got to eat those certain specific things, even though I might feel like eating something totally different. I still got to follow that plan in order to have success on my health journey. It's no different in our business journeys. I got to be up at a certain time. I got to be in the office at a certain time. I got to knock out a bunch of specific tasks. Elon Musk says, when you're a CEO of a business, which we're all the CEOs, or at least most of us are CEOs of our own business, regardless of you're an individual, if you're a team leader, brokerage owner, or whatever, we're still the CEOs. If you look at this from a business front, a CEO of our own business. And as Elon Musk says, being a CEO requires that you do a lot of chores, and those chores can suck, so, there's parts of our jobs, our business, if you will, that is fun, that is exciting, that we enjoy. But there's equally as amount of parts, or maybe even more than equal of things that we don't necessarily enjoy, that we got to do regardless. Like I love, and we're speaking to the real estate business, like I've always loved working with the clients, or, doing certain meetings and trainings with my agents, and whiteboarding out sessions and masterminding sessions. But then, all the back end stuff, man, doing P&L statements, tracking all the data and reviewing spreadsheets, developing email campaigns, and, when it came to when I was personally in production, doing all I enjoyed all the lead gen. I didn't necessarily enjoy all the lead follow-up. I always compare lead gen to be like the working out, the more exciting element, but then the lead follow-up to be like all the meal prepping and, all that behind the scenes stuff that isn't quite as enjoyable. That's how I always looked at it. Like I didn't necessarily enjoy it, but I knew that it was a necessary component that was necessary for me to go out there and create that success. So the first element of this is just having that understanding of, okay, if I'm committed, I need to do the necessary action steps that I must do day in and day out, regardless of my emotional state. It doesn't matter if I'm happy, doesn't matter if I'm motivated. One of the worst things that you can do is try to get yourself to a point where you rely on motivation in order to create success. Look, motivation doesn't last. Like the great Zig Ziglar says, motivation doesn't last, neither does bathing. That's why you need it daily. But even then, I'll take that a step further. It's like there's been times where I've been, whether you want to call it, depressed or whatever you want to call it, whatever term that you want to coin it. I don't really attach to these different terms and labels, but I've had different times, and for sometimes days, sometimes weeks, sometimes months on end, where I'm in a bad mental state. And it's like, no matter what I'm trying to feed myself for motivation, it's just not working. But I still need to show up. I still need to do those necessary actions, regardless of that emotional state. So don't rely on motivation. Instead, attach to the process, detach from the outcome, and focus on those day-to-day action steps that you must get done to make your goals a reality. That takes us to the next step here, which is it's so important to make sure that you have clarity on what you want, why you want it, why it's important to you, and some different things here. I mean, investing that time, again, to get that extreme clarity, so let's just say, again, we'll speak to real estate here, because I know that most of you are tied to the real estate industry that watch and listen to this podcast. So let's just say that you invest that time to understand what success means to you, what you must create here as we're entering, right now it's the day after Thanksgiving here, 2022. So we're entering into 2023. Okay, what exactly precisely are my goals for 2023? Why is that important? What does that mean overall for myself and for my family if I make those goals a reality? I'm also going to get clarity on hey, like what's the negative consequence if I don't make these goals a reality? What's the negative impact of my family? So I know the positive impact, I know the negative impact. So I'm going to get very clear on why those goals are essential for me and my family. And also longer term goals. What do I want to be in 3 years? What do I want to be in 5 years? What do I want my life and business to look like in 10 years? What do I want this to look like long game? What's my exit strategy? All of those different things. I'm going to invest that time to go out there and get crystal clarity, to get that extreme clarity. And if you're having trouble with this, I've got a great free 3-hour masterclass. If you go to gsdmode.com, it's 100% free, no strings attached. I walk you through my 6 fundamental steps that I just live, eat, breathe, and die by within my real estate team that have allowed me to become one of the top team leaders on the planet. Allowed me and my team to go out and sell over 7,000 homes. So I walk you through those 6 fundamental steps. One of those 6 fundamental steps is clarity. And I walk you through different exercises on how to go out there and get that extreme clarity. And I walk you through some of those, steps that I do to go out there and gain that clarity. So if you're having trouble with this, go out there and check out that free training. Go to gsdmode.com. You'll see it right on there. Have those trainings going on daily. But again, make sure you get clarity what you want, why you want it, why it's important to you. Then you build out a plan. Okay, what must I do to get from where I'm at to where it is that I want to go? And on that plan, so like for 2023, I know what my plan is. I know what my business plan is. I've got that on an annual basis. Then I've chunked that down to a monthly basis, then a weekly basis. So then that way I know on a daily basis what I must be doing day in and day out to make my goals a reality. I've got that with my business goals, my health goals, all those things that are important to me in my life. So get clarity on that. And then other things that help me personally, because this is a mind game, man. It's keeping our mind in the game, keep mentally in the game. Now all I got to do is execute on this plan. I got to make sure I'm not giving into those emotions and I'm keeping myself in that right emotional state to continue to execute on these things. So this might sound a little woo-woo, but something that works really well for me that I've been doing for a lot of years, and we do this as a team exercise as well, is vision boards. Once we have all that stuff planned out, then boom, we put together a vision board. And on my vision board, I'll split it into 3 different sections. So the section all the way to the left will be the things, will be visuals of things that I want to accomplish long-term. Then kind of the middle portion of that will be things that visual pictures, images, representations of the things that I want to create within the next 12 months. So for 2023, then the next third of that, so the far right of that will be my habitual plan, if you will. So, again, I don't believe in relying on motivation. I rely on habits. I rely on systems. I rely on, those daily disciplines, if you will. So these will be things that I need to either stop doing, like what are the habits, and I'll identify, okay, to make my goals a reality, what are the habits I need to break? What are the habits that I need to adopt? So maybe it's like, hey, in order for you to accomplish your goals in 2023, maybe you got to cut out TV. I've had years where, in the past where I was like, okay, I knew that the next evolutionary step, I needed to allow myself to expand and grow into that next version of myself, to allow myself to grow into the goals that I had for myself. I knew I had to give up alcohol. So then I had an image of, okay, absolutely no alcohol, right? So it might be giving up TV, might be giving up alcohol, it might be, having a morning routine, it might be whatever it is, so I'm going to break those things down. Now I have a visual. And I'm going to place that vision board on where I do the majority of my work. So wherever your office is, your core office, whether it's your home office or if you have an office at an office, and I'm going to put that right above where my screen is. So then that way I'm seeing it all throughout the day. Then from there, first thing that I do when I wake up, I review all of my goals for that year. First thing I do before I go to bed, or the last thing I do throughout my day, is I review those goals. So then now each and every day I'm reviewing them first thing when I wake up. I'm reviewing them last thing when I go to bed, so I can sit there and dream about them. I can keep them fresh in my mind as I'm going to bed, so I can start getting excited for the next day. And then all throughout the day, I've got that visual with those things that are right in front of me. So front of mind, man, out of sight, out of mind, right? So that just allows it then when I have those weak moments, I look up at that board, and I'm always asking myself with every decision, every action I'm taking, is that aligned to getting me one step closer to making those goals a reality, yes or no? Keeping this stuff front of mind absolutely is imperative. It absolutely works. It absolutely helps. So just reviewing these consistently, most people review their goals once or twice a year when they create their goals, and then they abandon them pretty quickly. Well, if I'm doing this twice a day, every single day, plus having that vision board in front of my peripherals, in front of my vision all day, every day, and I'm seeing that constantly, it's going to allow me to have less weak moments. It's going to then ensure that I'm making smarter strategic decisions. Okay, so then the next thing, and what I recommend here, is do not focus on happiness. Instead, focus on fulfillment. Look, happiness is moment by moment. Fulfillment is fulfillment is that that these terms kind of get intertwined and it can get kind of confusing with this, but I look at, okay, I got to do a lot of shit that makes me unhappy in the moment, so then that way I can be truly fulfilled. I look at fulfillment as like true happiness. But when we look at the way that happiness is coined in modern day society, it's how we feel in that moment, how our emotional state is in that moment. I don't want to care about what my emotional state is in that moment. I'm looking for true fulfillment, true happiness. And I know for me that I've learned over the years, the only way to be truly fulfilled is making my goals a reality. So I might have to do a bunch of shit that makes me unhappy in the moment. So I'm not focused on happiness in that moment. I'm focused on that fulfillment, and that fulfillment, that's it, period, right? So it's like happiness can be bought with a case of beer. Happiness can be, moment by moment. It's like in that moment, Maybe what would make me happy is binge watching this show on Netflix instead of getting in the office and doing that important work that I know I got to be doing. That important work I know I got to be doing may not create happiness in that moment, but that's going to lead to that long lasting happiness, that fulfillment, so just getting away from this, oh, I just want to be happy, and just understanding that you're going to have to do and push through and do things that don't make you happy in the moment to go out there and create true long lasting happiness. So don't focus on happiness, instead focus on true fulfillment. If we look at like today, the way that we kind of evolved our society into, most people are just, oh, I want to just be happy. I just want to seek happiness. But then I'll start asking them, okay, like, what is true happiness to you? What does that really, really look like? Well, most people haven't invested the time to get that extreme clarity. And what is that they truly want? What would truly make them fulfilled? What would truly make them happy and experience happiness long-term? Like most people have no idea. So then what they're saying is, I want to be happy, meaning I want to just be in this good emotional state all the time. And that's just going to do nothing but utterly fuck you in a negative way, if you have that mentality, right? Because then I can just go from the next, think of it like just going from the next high to the next high. Well, if I want to break my addiction to this drug, it's like when I was giving up alcohol, man, it took me about 6 months of going through pain because I had a problem with alcohol. It'd be every single day by noon, I was having my first drink, and I would drink at least a half rack of beer, if not a case of beer, on a daily basis. And I did that for years on end. And that beer in the moment would make me happy, but it created a lot of unhappiness. I was making a lot of bad decisions. It was creating unhappiness and tensions in my relationships. It was blocking me from operating on my full potential inside my business. So in the moment, it would make me happy every day when I go crack open that first beer and whatever. But then when I was breaking that habit, I had to go through a lot of pain, a lot of unhappiness as I'm breaking that habit. But then after I broke that habit, it led to much longer lasting happiness, much better relationships, much better mental clarity, much better performance, overall, it allowed me to be much more fulfilled. So again, don't focus on happiness, instead focus on fulfillment, and know the difference between those two things becomes really important. All right, so the next thing is we got that internal voice. And there's a book out there that Rory Vaden wrote called Take the Stairs. And you can read the book if you want to. I'm going to give you what I found to be the most powerful element of the book. And the whole book is about self-discipline. And he talked in there about, okay, we've got this internal voice that's always, happening in our heads. It's like we all have that internal voice that's talking in our head. And he calls that voice, he's like, imagine you got this doll sitting on your shoulder, and call it Mr. M for Mr. Mediocrity. He's like, that is society trying to keep you small. That is society trying to keep you mediocre. So thinking of it that way, because you are not that voice. And this is really important. You are not the voice that is talking to you in your head, because if you are the voice that's talking, who the hell's listening? You are the person that is listening. So you're going to have that internal voice that's taking place that's going to tell you, when that alarm goes off at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., whatever time you have to wake up in the morning, that's sitting there telling you, oh, I don't want to get up right now. That is not you. That is Mr. M. That is Mr. Mediocrity. That's that doll sitting on your shoulder. That's society trying to keep you small, right? That's that emotional bullshit, seeking happiness in the moment, comfort that will never serve you. Now, you are empowered because you are the one listening. You are not the one talking. You are in control of, okay, am I going to listen to that? So we can't always control our first thoughts. So many people are like, oh, just think more positively. And I get that whole entire concept. However, we can't control, you have over 60,000 thoughts coming through your brain each and every day. You cannot control that first thought always. Sometimes you can, but most times you can't control that first thought. However, I can control my second thought. I can control how I react to that. As an example, I get up every single morning at 3 a.m. First thing that I do is I get up, I eat my pre-workout meal, and then I work out. Every single morning, when that alarm goes off, that voice is telling me like, dude, keep sleeping. I don't want to get up. I don't want to work out. So it's in that negative voice that's trying to block me. That's trying to keep me more mediocre. If I listen to that voice, I would have a bad body. I wouldn't be in the shape that I'm in. I wouldn't be able to go out there and perform and do the things that I'm able to do if I continuously and consistently listen to that voice, right? So instead, though, when that voice starts taking in, I then choose how I want to respond to it. So I go into a place of gratitude. I start thanking God for the fact that I'm able to get up, the fact that I have all my limbs, that I have a healthy body, that I'm able to get up, that I'm able to eat a great pre-workout meal, that I'm able to get into my home gym or drive to the gym, that I have a vehicle to drive to the gym, that I have a nice gym to go to, that I'm able to go out there and push the weight in the gym. I've got a functional body. So I get into a place now of gratitude and appreciation. And I changed that whole concept, that whole conversation that's going on in my head went from this, negative, poor me, why me, whatever, into a place of, again, gratitude, appreciation, and now starting to get into excitement. This whole thing, and this is something that is really just, I believe, that has really sickened our overall society, is this, life's just gotten too good, so people just want things to be good. And we've all heard the saying out there that good times create weak men and weak women, and bad times create strong men, strong women, but so many people are just chasing and seeking this comfort and comfort and comfort. They don't want to push through and do that hard shit. And then we get to that point where then we just have that pity party internally in our mind, which is a very negative space. We don't want to be there. And I look at that as a form of narcissism. When we're making this all about us, and it's just, poor me, poor me, poor me. I don't want to do this. I just want to be happy. And then we're just focused on us. We're not focused on others. We're not focused on creating, right? That is just a variation of narcissism, that variation of being self-absorbed. And it happens to all of us. It happens to me too. I'm not saying that I'm somebody special and that it doesn't happen to me, but I have awareness of that. And I get myself out of that damn mindset as quickly as I possibly can. And for me, how that works is going into prayer. Whether you're religious or not religious, I pray a lot. I believe in God, but I don't necessarily attach to a religion, if you will, but I go into, thanking God for all the blessings and everything that I've been blessed with, and asking God for that strength and all those things that I need. So it puts me in that different mindset, to go out there and take those actions. So don't listen to that internal voice, and understand, or when I say, you're going to listen to it, you're going to hear it, but it's your choice whether you want to listen to it or not. But you need to understand, and this is the last point I want to hit on, is that greatness comes from operating out of your comfort zone. It comes from hard shit that you have to do. That's how greatness is created. If you go out there and you're seeking comfort and you want to do all the easy things in the moment, and you're seeking those easy things. If I'm seeking happiness in the moment, if I'm seeking comfort in the moment, if I'm seeking those easy things inside my comfort zone in the moment, that is going to equate and lead to a very difficult, hard life overall. However, if instead I flip that switch, flip that script, and I'm willing to do those hard things in the moment that take me out of my comfort zone, that are difficult to do, that will lead to an easy, great life long term. So again, it's just picking and choosing which path do I want to go. As we've all heard, and which we all know, is that greatness it happens outside of our comfort zone. You got to go out there and push through those things. It's not hard for me, or it's not easy for me to get up at 3 a.m. every single morning, get that first meal in and hit the gym every single day. And there's days where I enjoy it and it is easy, and there's a lot of days where it's not easy and I don't enjoy it, but it gives me the great health that I'm looking for. Same thing with my business, getting in the office each and every day at this time. It's like, okay, it's Black Friday today. My wife is asking me to go out there and go, shopping with them and hang out with family today. I'm like, no, man, I got so much shit to do. I got so much things that I need to get done in the office today. It would have been easier for me to not come in the office today. It'd been easier for me not to create this video here today with you guys. It'd been easier, for me to go out there and eat all the Thanksgiving leftovers and binge watch some TV, and then go out and do some shopping with the family and just take, chillax and take it easy. Those things would have been easier than showing up here and grinding out a 12 or 14-hour workday. But I know, which of those choices are going to lead me to the goals that I want to create for myself, for my family, and so forth. So taking that action and not listening to those internal voices. So again, I'm not sitting here saying that you're not going to feel emotions. We all do. But these are the different tools and the different strategies that I personally utilize to go out there and not allow those emotions taking place to put me in a hard position, if you will. I want to go out there and I'm in control, right? So I'm in control of the actions that I take, the things that I'm doing to choose to level up moment by moment, day by day, week by week, month by month, to go out there and get the outcome that I truly want. All right, I hope that you guys found this helpful. I truly appreciate you being here, truly appreciate you watching this. Again, if you haven't already, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button, make sure to hit that like button, drop me a comment below. Love to hear, where you're watching from, what your biggest takeaways of this are. Again, I reply to those comments personally. If there's other topics that you would like me to cover in the past, whether it be real estate tips, whether it be leveling ups, maybe there's somebody that you'd love me to interview, to have on as a podcast guest, drop me a line with that in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Also, make sure that you check out gsdmode.com. I've got that free 3-hour masterclass going on right now. And that is all around those 6 fundamental steps and how you can continue to grow and scale your real estate business regardless of the marketplace. And I've created this new training going on right now just because of all the market shifts that we're seeing, to give you directions, to give you instructions of how to go out there and kick ass and crush it regardless of the marketplace. Also, if you're looking for a coach, if you're looking for a mentor to help you grow and expand your real estate business, you can check out my coaching Mastery Bootcamp coaching program on there. Learn more about it. You can schedule a free 100% zero pressure discovery call just to learn more about the program, see if I'm a fit for you. And again, I try to turn those into mini coaching calls themselves. So even if you decide it's not a fit for you, I want to make sure that those calls are valuable for you. You can also check out a demo. I've got an in-depth demo on Perfect Storm, which is the website CRM system that I utilize, that I have inside my real estate business, that allows me to go out there and crush it and, become one of the top teams out there in the country. So all those things, plus a bunch of other free resources, my free book on there, all those things, no strings attached on any of that stuff. So anyway, I hope that you guys found this helpful. Keep crushing it, keep kicking ass, and I will see you next time. Peace.